Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Today, I should be doing part two of, well, I was kind of talking about equity, disability, the reality within disability, because I'm seeing a pattern of when I talk about real life situations and or compare my real life situations to either current events, media, and things like that, I get hate for it or dislike for it. I don't know if people just think I'm automatically lying and or I know some people say, "Well, you guys haven't seen me yet." Well, you have if you watched the right episodes because I have been visible. I have been seen and I will be doing lives. I don't know when, but I will show myself pretty soon. It's just, I will do some Gray Sheep episodes on why I didn't do a YouTube channel for so long. And the thing is, I wanted to do one from the start without the payment, without the prestige and everything that a lot of the YouTubers get now. I was one of the ones who wanted to start one at the very, very beginning. And I had ideas of like talking about poetry and writers and stuff like that and comparing and contrasting on the symbolism, metaphors, personifications, and because some of those are some of my favorite type of writing like items. But anyway, it's like now talking about disability awareness, and Disability Awareness Month is going to be coming up pretty soon. So going to be talking a lot about employment and jobs because especially now they took away equity, and I'm finding a lot of people who are ignorant with equity because okay, I'm going to be talking about burning bridges and villains because I'm still searching within, because I'm working on my villain. I have villains, but there's one specific one that it's like, I know some people love to hate the villain, or hate to love the villain, or love, hate, love all together. And they should be like one of the most complicated characters within the book because when you have the villain aligned with the main character, it's like sometimes you're like you know why you should be rooting for the good guy, but then you have an understanding for the villain, and sometimes it's for good, sometimes it's for bad reasons, but you're in understandment because you understand the pain, the grievedness, and just the life that and the circumstances that they have went through. And with some of the villains that I'm creating, the backstory and the people that I created them from, I'm having a hard time because they were just literally evil to me. So if I only see the evil, I don't want to put the stereotypical Disney character villain because you're not going to see them in all of their, entity. And it's like now looking at equity and it being taken out, I'm seeing some of the villainy in people who I thought were my friends. And I know my circle of friends was already small because with Facebook, that's just a lot of fake people. Facebook is full of fakeness, fake people who, okay, there's going to probably be a 2 or 3 episode series because, oh, and I'm going to say the full version of the stories in Gray Sheep form, but it's like I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel from like day one. And I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it's like, I've got a camera, I'm going to do this and that. And my perfect sister told my mom because I was telling her like on the drive back from college, Oakley University, I was telling her, "Oh my gosh, yeah, they have YouTube, and it's like I want to do this, and I want to talk about like Toni Morrison, and it's like and like." Hughes and like so many other, like especially African American writers, and then even comparing to Sylvia Plath, because Sylvia Plath like blah blah blah, and I was just so excited, so I was telling her everything, but I made that mistake and told her because I knew who I was talking to, but there were some times where I had no one else to talk to, and especially when I used to tell other people at OU about the things that was going on at home because of how I walked and how I don't fit my parents' expectations. No one believed me because my perfect sister is perfect and there's nothing wrong with her and she doesn't go through any of the things that I went through. But people forget that we are two different people. And people automatically think if you're twins, you're going to be the same. If you're twins, you're going to be treated the same. If you're twins, you're going to have the same life. And that is farther like that. You cannot be more wrong. But I I learned a lot about the destruction of bridges, the connection of bridges, and a lot I think in college, because I used to tell the stories of the things I was going through, and they would run to my perfect sister, and then my perfect sister was like, no, that's not going on, none of that's happening, and then she would go to my mother and tell her what I said. And so the next thing I know, the trauma was getting worse and more things were happening. And that included YouTube, because I made the mistake because I was excited. And next thing I know, my mom calls me into the room and she tells me, if I catch you on YouTube, I'm going to, well, beat the mess out of me, basically. I'm just going to say, and like, and she said other terms and things like that. And she told me she was going to get the belt, and said she was going to kick me out of the house. And she said that while, like, because even while I was working promotions, I thought like it would be such a cool and amazing YouTube channel if I, like, as a promotional model, I, like, during my breaks, I talk about, like, what I'm doing, what I'm working, and, like, the marketing aspects, because I wanted to go into marketing. That's why I did promotional modeling, was so I can get a marketing advertising type of job. And so I thought that would be kind of a cool type of channel to create. But, like, yep, it's like I forgot how my sister found out, but she found out. And so, yeah, my mom said that while, like, 'cause I traveled out of state a lot for certain clients and everything. So my mom said if she catches me, she's going to wait until I have to leave the house and that I'm out of town for a few days. She's going to box up all my stuff. She's going to donate it to some of the, like, Salvation Army, Goodwill. She was naming them too. And she said that with some of the items, she will find somewhere to burn. Yeah, it's like she said she was going to look up places where she can legally burn it. And she said she'll put that on camera. So I have to watch her burning my stuff. Yeah. So when it comes to burning bridges, Oakland University taught me a lot about the need, the want, the desire, and the have to of burning bridges. When it comes to equity and inclusion, people have backstabbed me, and or they I don't I'm still trying to understand what I've done wrong, because sometimes, and the funny thing is, some of the people with promotional modeling, because I burned so many bridges with, like, because, ooh, like, some of them actually hated me because I worked so hard. Some of them hated me because I didn't I don't know if I have the episode up yet, but I just told one of the stories about working for a bank client, getting secret shopped, and I passed it with flying colors. But some of my coworkers hated me for passing my secret shops. And I've had coworkers try to trick me with secret shops because I studied everything in the binder and like sometimes looked up the companies online, but then sometimes I've had people hired as managers come up to me. Oh, there was a change in the binder. There was a change in the material because they want me to slip up. And I found that I know this for a fact because some of them were annoyed with me and some of them said that they thought, oh, she's trying to get a management position. She's trying to get, and the thing is like, kind of, yes, because it's like, and not because I don't want to rain on their parade. But it's like, I wanted to get a marketing management position. I was trying to get into a marketing agency. So a management position, I would have only wanted it for a little bit, 6 months. It's like, because once you get to that 6 months, you could put it on your resume, and it's long enough so that the job that you're applying for, they don't look down on. Like, it's not a long time, it's not a year, but it's long enough. That's all I needed. So that was like my only goal. But since I walk differently, a lot of the companies didn't want me. And because some, like, I remember there was this one girl named Megan. Oh, she was, ooh, that witch. That witch. It's like, I remember there was a holiday promo that I was working. And then one of the, like, her and her friends, they just always tormented me. And I did not know why. I still to this day do not know why. It's like some of them kept saying, she's trying too hard, she's trying this, she's trying. And I'm like, when you work, aren't you supposed to try your best? When you work, aren't you supposed to put enthusiasm? Because some of them actually, like, they didn't like how bubbly I was. So, like, when I say I don't know, I mean, I guess I do know, but it's shocking on why, like, people, like, didn't like me because I'm like, okay, so I'm bubbly and you don't like that because I actually passed my secret shops. You don't like that because I come to work ready to work, and I'm always trying to make sure I make people's day a little bit more special, especially if they have a disability. But before I was diagnosed, like, I always felt like I had a connection with people with disabilities. Whenever someone was in a wheelchair, or when I saw that they were deaf or blind or anything like that, I would pay a little extra attention to make sure that their day was well and that they were okay. And or how can I make sure that their experience with the promotion was extra special? And a lot of the coworkers could not stand that. They did not like that whatsoever. And so when it comes to trying to find work, trying to find a job, when it when going for interviews, like I've said other time in other videos, I was told so many times, "Oh my gosh, you're the most, like, experienced person," or "You're the number one on our list." But then, because that's over the phone though, so they don't see me. They don't see me. So, but when they see me, sometimes it's because I'm black, sometimes it's because of my walking. All of a sudden, they try to find a reason not to hire me. And there was a few promotions, but one for a fact. It's it's kind of funny, but it's kind of bigoted and racist. And it's for one of the major beer companies. And I applied for the position. It was a management position, and it was for a tour. So I was like, this is exactly what I need. And I think it was for about 4 to 6 months, something like that. So for me, it's like, that's perfect. And so I was so excited because I got through the first phase, and they were so impressed with me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you have the exact credentials. Oh my gosh, and you're working on your master's." And some of my conversations with the business person, they were like, "Wow, you really know what you're talking about. This is so great. This is so perfect." And I was like, "After this promo, we'll probably have other projects for you." So then I am so excited. So then I move on to the next stage. I get through that stage perfectly and everything like that. Get through the third stage and the final stage, and they officially hire me. You do not know how excited and happy I was. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got the position. I'm hired. And so, yeah, it's like I I didn't want to tell my parents because the whole church girl is like, because and that's the thing, like my parents are like, oh, she only wants to work these alcohol promotions. No, I like the video game promos, the Toys R Us promos, those were fun. I really enjoyed those. And it's like when it came to like the promos for kids or the family friendly, I like those more. But there were a lot more, well, it was harder for me to get into those a lot of times. And also with the alcohol promos, they paid more, and I'm working on my masters and then my second master's. I'm trying to pay my student. Come on now, I got student loans to pay, so trying to do that. So it's like, so I don't know. Sometimes it's really frustrating when you're trying your best, you're doing what you're capable of doing, you're trying to get to the promised land of a 9 to 5 business position, but the business positions don't want you because you're black or you have a disability. And so they keep telling you, you don't want this job, go for a better job, go for a higher paying job. But then the higher paying jobs, you don't have the experience. You need the management experience. So then you're trying to get the management experience, but your colleagues within that market, they don't like that you try so hard, that you're working on your master's. Because I've said in other videos, my coworkers were literally hoping that I failed. They were hoping that I was going to drop out of grad school when I would work out of town, and then I would have to go, and they would go party, and then I would have to go back to the hotel room to study and work on my papers. They would call me a loser, or they would tell me, like, there were whispers of them like, dang, it's like, I wonder how much longer until she drops out and stuff. And it's like, what do I have to do? Like, why, why is everyone hating on me? Is like, I'm having a hard time finding work for being a black woman with a disability. Wasn't diagnosed, but my walking was apparent. It was visible. And like I've said so many other videos, my parents blamed me. They told me I was lazy. I didn't want to pick up my feet. I just wanted attention. Doctors told me the pain was in my head. And they would call my parents and say, she's still making this stuff up. She still just wants attention. They're the reasons why my parents were saying the stuff they said, but no one was helping me, supporting me when I needed the help and support until I could no longer walk. Until I could no longer walk. So trying to apply for promotional like for me it was 8 times harder, 8 to 10 times harder, 20 times in some cases harder for me to find promotional modeling jobs because it's like my walking. Whenever I would have to go there first to meet them, it's like most of the time I could be crossed off the list. And then there were some promos where the guy said I had to give him a special little job. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask your mama and your grandma, your auntie, or the lady down the street that's really nosy. They know. But yeah, when I say I have stories, I have so many stories. But I tried so hard to find. Like I was trying to finally get the management position so that I would be able to go and work and have the 9 to 5, the dream job that I've always wanted. Because whenever, like, I was always good enough until I walked into the room. I was always the most qualified person until I walked into the room. And then they would tell me, "You don't want this job. You don't want this. No, you need to go for a different position. You need a higher position." Oh, no. It's like, no, you don't want that. But yeah, but if I walked right, or if I had white skin, yeah, I'm just going to say a right blunt to the center. Yeah, they wouldn't have said that. They would have hired me. They would have. So it was kind of like a never ending circle, never ending, because I worked as a promotional model for about 12 years, and I worked for about 120 different independent promotion companies for so many different brands and things, and not just alcohol. Like, and that's the thing, like, and I don't drink either, really. I think I can count on both hands how many times I've had a drink, and I've had a couple more recently because I'm like, you know what? I at least want to know what I do like. So in order for me to know what I like, I need to try so I can see what I like. But I'm finding out that I just don't like. I have a sweet tooth. Give me an orange cream soda or something, I'm good. I'm happy. It's like I yeah. So, or even give me a Shirley Temple with some spark, like add a little sparkling water to it. I don't know, but yeah. So like I'm a kid at heart. So anyway, with the job, I was so excited, and I'm starting to plan out because I'm looking. I printed all the materials and I'm starting to study it. And I am also looking at the history of the company, trying to study them to the root, because as a manager, I'm working it, but also going to be training and helping out the other staff and making sure they're on point as well. But about 2 or 3 days later, I get a call. "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We forgot to ask for your pictures. Can you send us a picture of yourself?" It's like, it's no biggie. It was like, it's we forgot. We're so sorry. And I'm already hired and everything, so I don't think much of it. So I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah. So I go and I email them my most current pictures of myself and stuff. And then I go back and I'm continuing, but then I get a phone call from the promotion company. "Yeah, hi, how are you today?" And they drag it out or whatever. But then they're like, "We are so sorry, but we sent your picture to the client, and this is a major beer company." When I say a major beer company, yeah, think of some of the most popular, like, generic beer companies in America, and you probably know which company I'm talking about. Yeah, but the client, they say that you don't fit the demographic. And it's like, so we're going to have to find someone else. We are so, like, but you are amazing. And we want to put you on another project because you have impressed us so much. It's like, you are like, and they were like, "You do not know how impressed we are with you." But all I hear in the back of my head is, "You're black. So no matter what you do, you're not good enough." So I, like, once she was done, blah, 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 blah. Basically, she sounded like Peanuts, the adults in the Peanuts cartoons. So I'm like, oh, so they don't want someone that's black? I was blunt with it. I didn't care. "Oh, well, I can't say that." "You can't say the truth?" "Well, yeah, yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but yeah. So it's because I'm black." Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. It's like she won't literally just say yes, but yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And she, like, kind of sounded like a remix. It's like, but it was, so basically, I just remember, like, because even at the end of the conversation, I was just like, oh, okay, so I'll throw, like, I was already studying the materials. I printed every. Oh, you print? Oh well. Once we hire a new person, she can pick that up, and we'll pay you like $20 or $40 for that. What? Are you serious? What? Because I told her that I was highlighting, I took notes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, when I say I work, I work. When they hired me, I was like making sure I created the bullet points and making sure I had like the key points to remember for clients and stuff like that, things off their website and stuff. So I was ready and prepared. And so when she found like when I let her know that I already did all of that, oh, well, she can pick that up and that would help her greatly. And they said, we'll pay you for your efforts. So it gets kind of annoying when people try to, like, when I tell my story and my life and everything about equity, when I hear people say they are so glad equity is gone, they are so glad DEI is gone. It's like you don't know how much that hurts me because I already struggle trying to be looked at as human, looked at as being decent enough because most of humankind doesn't see much of me in me because of how I walk, because of my skin color, because I'm a woman. It's like I have so many stories on my promotional experience, so many stories about Oakland University, so many stories about employment, period. But when it comes to equity, so many of you guys are so naive, so ignorant, poorly educated. And it just proves why we need to teach more about it in schools. We do, we have to, we need to. But we have a corrupt, bigoted council up in the White House right now. The orange man is such a bigot, it's not even funny right now. Almost everyone he hires, especially the president that he hired, but he didn't hire, but like, yeah, Elon Musk is nothing but a bigoted, no good, I've got nothing nice to say about that man. And you need to do some research because, ooh, there's a lot of things that, especially when it comes to PayPal, maybe do a little research on all of the owners of PayPal. And also, like, when I say do research, there is so much to, yeah. But anyway, this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.